Diana. Often described as the world's most photographed woman, Princess Diana lived and died.
And it may well be that she did it like this to show that she could do her own thing.
I hope you can find it.
Her flat came under siege. She was followed wherever she went.
Do you find it a very daunting experience that yesterday you were a nanny looking after children? Now you're about to marry the Prince of Wales, and one day you would, in all likelihood, be Queen.
Is when we managed to escape the loitering paparazzi.
How well are you coping with all the press attention?
Well, as you can see, you can tell.
Are you bearing up with it quite well, though? Because it must be quite a strain with all of us after you.
Well, it is, naturally.
She was very... so she'd been disappointed from the very beginning. She was living on a dream, really.
And then, in a moment, provided the great cliché scene of happy couple riding towards the sunset.
The royal edict and go home today.
A new word began to appear in the media's vocabulary: Di-mania. On a trip to America, the crowds neared hysteria, screaming for the princess wherever she went.
Yeah, I mean, seeing royalty that close up, I mean, they'd actually, take the time out to come and talk to us. It's just unbelievable. God, it was great. I used the whole roll of film. It was worth it, I swear.
After 5 years of marriage, it was becoming more evident, both publicly and privately, that rumours of affairs were rife, and Diana's increasing popularity was thought to be concerning to Charles and the palace.
The theme of this second week has really been the princess's rapidly growing popularity. There's been plenty of physical contact, and the children now seem to have rewritten the rules of the walkabout, or at least made it clear that the rules don't apply to them. They can go anywhere. Sometimes they hunt in packs, zeroing in on the target with their bouquets. The end product is always the same: masses and masses of flowers.
Royal engagement, and the crowd were calling Diana, Diana, so he felt surplus.
The Di-mania continued. Prince Charles was proud of his wife, but it was now becoming obvious that the crowds wanted to see her more than him. It's been suggested that the prince was caught completely off his guard by this, and that his pride became mixed with a twinge of jealousy. He joked about it in public.
I haven't yet worked out a method of splitting my wife in half. She can do both sides.
Christened by her devotees as the People's Princess, and given...
The woman for the princess said that Diana will continue to be involved in all
at Kensington Palace. The princess was said to be deeply upset at making and declaring the decision to end the marriage.
My public life 12 years ago, I understood the media might be interested in what I did. I realized then their attention would inevitably focus on both our private and public lives. Both my public duties.
Diana was still the focus of the world's attention. Her freedom from the royal family and new relationships were of great interest to the public.
There are 62.
Today, she walked down onto the small stretch of beach, appearing comfortable with the media attention. For half an hour, she chatted to her security men as the foreign paparazzi, well with the foot cruiser, also belonging to the Harrods boss, to sail away from Saint-Tropez, to slip away from the media glare.
you know, Diana had a very good working relationship with the media. She accepted, I think reluctantly at the beginning, look, I'm saddled with this, you know, what's the point? I can't fight it. I've got to stay with it. And that's how it was. And I think...
At the polo, would meet at.
Guest of her friend Mohammed Al Fayed, the boss of Harrods, a very controversial figure in the recent political Cash for Questions affair.
And she wanted to go more into the areas of not sort of going and cutting ribbons at hospitals, but she wanted to actually be out in the field doing things. And that was her raison d'etre, and she was really excited about it.
And we must stop the landmines if we can.
Still, is that she was a different person with different hair. And so she was always different, so she was always fascinating.
Paul Burrell was constantly at Diana's side, one moment maintaining the distance of a man in service, the next joking with the boss.
Of Wales was a new kind of royal. She carried out her duties with elegance and style, just like other members of the royal family. But there was a difference. She wasn't stuffy, responding to people naturally, and the people took her to their hearts. She was happy to show the kind of human side that other royals kept hidden, giving the monarchy a refreshing new profile throughout the world.
Diana had a deeply complicated relationship with the press.
With her legs folded, and she looked very wistful, and she'd never looked more lonely. The fact that Charles was doing another engagement in another...
To get closer to her, even though she's not here with us anymore, is something amazing.